This video is about to get a little bit intense. But before you start throwing shade and hurting me, my friends, and my whole family in the comments, just hear me out. If by the end of it you still feel like yelling at me, go ahead and let me have it. Deal? Okay, so here's the thing. It's no secret that there are more and more music producers in the market these days. Some are just starting out while others are even breaking into the big leagues. And honestly, that's amazing. A lot of people are recording their own music at home to share on digital platforms and reach new audiences without spending thousands on professional studios. That's great, it really is. But here's the problem. I think many of us are taking the wrong approach. Let me explain. The sheer number of mixing and mastering tutorials on platforms like YouTube is just insane. And the reason is simple. There's a huge demand. Everyone wants to know how to make their mixes better, how to master like a pro, how to make their music sound the best it can. But here's the catch. Those processes are some of the least important parts of creating a great song. Now, please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying mixing doesn't matter or that you should just throw your unpolished tracks out into the world. No, wait a minute. Take a moment to think this through with me. I promise there's a method to my madness, and if you give me a chance, I'll explain it all. The problem is that we're hearing a lot of bad music that's really well mixed, creating a disconnect between technical polish and actual musical quality. It's almost as if the art of songwriting and performance has taken a back seat to the pursuit of a perfect soundscape, which misses the point of what music is really about. But what do you mean bad music? I can hear you saying music is art and art is subjective, and yeah, you're absolutely right. Art is subjective and everyone has their own tastes. I get it. I really do. But before you even think about mixing or mastering, there are critical steps we're skipping. And if you watch some of my videos, you know that I'm probably going to mention composition, arrangement, and performance. Let me tell you something, and I know this might hurt, but it's the truth. Nobody in your audience cares about your vocal chain or what compressor you used. Nobody, not a single casual listener, is gonna notice if you used a hall reverb instead of a room reverb. Honestly, the reverb you pick, whether it's a hall, a room, or something else, will likely only be noticeable to you or, well, other audio geeks. Is it going to change a bit the vibe or the final sound? Yes, of course. But it's not going to be the factor that turns your song into a hit or makes it unforgettable for your listeners. What listeners really want is a song that makes them feel something. Anything. Happy songs should sound happy, and sad songs should sound sad. They should evoke emotions. And you can achieve that with a great mix if there's no solid foundation underneath. You need arrangements that can stand on their own, supporting the emotions you want to convey. And no, it's not just about playing louder or softer. There are dynamics, intentions, and so much more nuance in a performance. If those nuances, intentions, and emotions aren't clear before you even start the record button, there's no plugin subscription in the world that's gonna save you. And it's not just about emotional delivery. Your performance also has to be technically solid. For example, can you play to a click track or can you stay in time without one if that's the vibe you're going for? Do you know when to come in, when to hold back, and how to execute your instruments as well as possible? And by the way, that as well as possible bar shouldn't mean good enough. It should mean the best your skills allow. I think it's already time that we all completely delete the we'll fix it in the mix approach from our heads. We have to produce and record our sounds as if mixing didn't exist. Now, sure, there are things you can fix in post. And let me tell you an example I experienced the other day. I was recording with a vocalist here in the studio, and she got an amazing take. Like, the feeling and the vibe was on point. But on the second line of the chorus, it was a bit late. Well, guess what? We can 100% just move those vocals a bit, and voila, we have an amazing vocal take. But what we need to avoid is to salvage a poorly written or poorly performed or even poorly recorded song with digital processing. Because however amazing tools we have at our disposition, they will never replace a well recorded and performed take. Listen, by the time you get to the mixing stage, your song should already sound great with just a static mix, basic volume, levels, and panning. The mix is there to help everything find its place, polish and enhance the song. But if the song itself and the performance are not quite there, well, there's not much you can do, at least from a mixing perspective. So what you should do instead? Well, my recommendation is to stop focusing so much on learning to mix and master, for now at least. Focus on mastering your instrument if you have one, or take vocal lessons if you want to master singing. Super important, learn some basic music theory and audio theory to build arrangements that are balanced in terms of frequency and match the emotion of your song. Study composition, rhyme schemes, read poetry, not to become a hopeless romantic, but to understand the structure and syntax tools to help you write better lyrics. You know, at the end of the day, mixing shouldn't be that hard. At least not if your song sounds great from the start. You don't need every tutorial you've watched this month. What you need is better raw material. Remember, before you dive deep into mixing tutorials and obsessing over EQ settings, take a step back and ask yourself, is my song strong enough to stand out on its own? Are my arrangements, my performance, and my lyrics all coming together to create something that truly resonates? At the end of the day, mixing is just the cherry on top. If your song doesn't have a solid foundation, no amount of mixing magic will save it. So, invest your time in mastering your craft, honing your skills, and creating music that's powerful from the inside out. Mixing will come later, and when it does, you'll find it a lot easier to get it right. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you or inspires you in any way.